It is day 1 of the new chemo protocol, the paxitaxol, Carboplatin, 5FU, which I've already done. And I'm going to my old clinic for the next 2 weeks until August, and I go to my new guy. And I've got all my stuff for icing my hands and feet, which I'll do a little video on my gloves and my slippers that I ended up buying, and the ice chest that I bought, the little portable soft pack cooler. And I'm late because a couple things. I got up late, and then I kind of had a hair disaster. My hair's falling out really bad, so I shaved part of it yesterday, and then it was really funky, and I needed some help to fix it today. And then I was like a crazy mess, and so I'm getting here 20 minutes late to my oncologist's office, and I'm rushing. So I'm gonna try to calm down. I won't be able to like do anything in there because my hands are gonna be in ice gloves, so I can't like text or work or like play on my phone or read a book, which kind of sucks. So I forgot my headphones for listening to an audiobook. I am not prepared. Yeah, all right, we just got here, we gotta go. So I've been waiting for my blood results, and everything came back good. Been here for almost 2 hours and not started yet, but getting ready to start. So I'm gonna get my cold capping on for my hands and feet and start with pre-meds, and I'm a little nervous to get the drugs, but hopefully no reactions. Okay, I'm getting ready to ice my hands and feet. This is the cooler I got. It's supposed to keep ice for a minimum of a day. I've got my extra pads. Here's my mittens. Let's start with the feet ones right here. Let's start with those. Brr. Okay, give this to you. So these little slippers have gels in the bottom, and they have gels in the toe. So I'll replace those like every 20, 30 minutes. So this will hopefully prevent any neuropathy, nerve damage from the Taxol and the Carboplatin that I'm going to be getting here in the next 30 minutes. I just pulled it and I heard a rip.
Oh no, I hope not.
You have to be more gentle with these. Okay. It's cold, but it's not too cold. Now these look really cold. So these are my mittens. I gotta be like a little baby today. Mittens here. These are my ice gloves. Why are these 2 right hands?
Oh no. Can you flip them the other way? Does it matter?
So. I guess you can flip them however you want, but that seems...
Are they the same on both sides?
I think so. So it has this great little strap.
Wow.
Those are pretty cold.
You're going to be able to text with those.
I'd be texting. This is what you can put on your kids if you don't want to use their phone. Oh, that's a good punishment. You make them wear ice gloves.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You might have come up with something.
And so that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'll swap out some ice bags in here. I need to get a second pair of these because I need to actually swap out these as a whole. And I meant to order 2 pairs and I didn't, so... I look like a little baby with mittens on. These are my ice slippers. Those are cute. Right? These actually aren't very cold. These are really cold. But I can't do anything with them.
You're like Elsa with your frozen hand mitts.
I was joking that this would be a good disciplinary action for the kids. They can't text or like play video games or anything. If they don't do your chores, you wear the ice gloves. Hello, lovelies. I'm heading home after my first regimen of paxitaxol, Carboplatin, plus the 5FU, which I've had before, and it was super. It took a really long time. It's 5:36. I got there at like 10:20, so I was there for 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was there for over 7 hours. Wow, 7 hours. You have to go slow. pre-meds, but still they have to monitor for that. It typically happens in the first one. No reactions for me, yay. And same with carboplatin, no reactions for me. But waiting around, it took a while to get started, so I was pretty nervous. It took a long time to get my initial blood results back today, which all came up good.
There's a stalled vehicle ahead.
And so 2 weeks off of chemo did me good. Then it took a long time to mix my pre-meds. Like, I was probably waiting an hour and a half just to start my pre-meds, which I had some great conversation with some patients there. Met a new friend and connected with someone I've already talked to before, and that's always really nice to share information and just see how each other is doing and what we're going through with the shared experiences, and her experience on taking the carboplatin and the Taxol. And I was nervous because her first Taxol sent her to the hospital, so I was a little nervous about that. And she breaks out with the carboplatin. Now the carboplatin is typically more likely you're going to react as it builds up, so I'm not really out of the woods there yet. It builds up after treatment, so I could have a reaction 3 treatments from now or 5. And then the other big thing was meeting with my oncologist today. So you get to meet with your oncologist every 4 treatments, and today was a doctor. Wow, that motorcycle was going fast. A doctor oncologist day. I won't say his name, I'll protect his privacy, but it did not go well. Well, for one, I'm seeing the guy who trained him, and I actually thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal, honestly. I thought, they kind of have some rapport with each other. They used to run a clinic together. They share patients all the time, but for some reason, I'm not icing my hands right now. I had my ice gloves. They're leaking all over my lap. I have my feet on ice in my ice bag right now to keep those ice. So you have to do it 2 hours after chemo. So as soon as I'm done making this video, I'm putting my hands back on ice. And anyway, but I felt like his body language and his manner was really kind of aloof, and it was really kind of, he was hands on his hips, like kind of strutting like side, like a little, like peacock, a little like, I didn't like it. I didn't really like his body language, and he seemed very uncomfortable. And this is why I'm leaving him, because he's not very confident, and he's very uncomfortable. And then we talked about the new protocol and from Dr. Chu, and he immediately said, sorry, there's a bed shadow here. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like this protocol. He doesn't think it's as effective as his protocol, and he doesn't really do it for my type of breast cancer. So I felt very discouraged, number one, hearing that. And after he talked a little bit, Chad my boyfriend called him out a little bit like what one of the reasons why we felt like we needed to change was that there's just a lot of balls that have been dropped along the whole journey with them.
Asking about
they miss things, the emails, things getting put in for orders of drugs.
Today in particular, you called out asking about
the leukine and the intron A that
and they both were
the orders never got in for, and
how it's evolving. Remember you called out the report that they didn't know anything, they forgot all about it.
Well, yep. So into the conversation, I said, "Oh, by the way, what about my?" I said, well, and also as I was trying to kind of validate why I was switching oncologists, like, well, he's closer to where I'm at in Seattle on Mondays, and also, he had some ideas for me, like he wants to do a liquid biopsy, and he also wants to do the mutation test. I said, by the way, did the mutation? I actually thought it didn't happen. I will give him credit, it did. I said, what about the mutation tests you were going to put in? Do we have the results on that? And he said, actually we do. Let's have a look. And he's looking at them. It seems like for the first time to me. Doesn't it to you? Did it seem like he was really looking at them? He was reading them.
He wouldn't have brought it up.
And he didn't have anything. And I feel like he wouldn't have brought it up if I hadn't said anything about it. He forgets about my stuff all the time. Even when I mentioned my cancer marker test, he's like, oh, the last time you had it was June. It was high. It was 38. No, I've had it 2. CA 27, 29. Sorry. It's not a COVID cough, I promise. I've had 2. I haven't had a CEA though. He hasn't done my CEA. Anyway, so he kind of forgets. Anyway, so he looks at my mutation test, and he kind of says what it is, but he doesn't really explain it. Like, I still don't know what it means. I'm like, so yes, I have mutations, or no, I don't have mutations. And he said, yes, I have mutations, like 5 different mutations that are going on. And one of them makes me a candidate for Ibrance, which I know a little bit about. It's kind of like an after chemotherapy, like a maintenance protocol to stay in remission or to keep everything stable, even if we're not able to get rid of all the tumors. So Ibrance. And then what do you say about my mutations? They're like, it's like they're making copies of each other. Isn't that so freaky that this thing is like multiple? It's like copying itself. It's like making these freaking carbon copies, and yeah, it's really pissing me off. But anyway, so then my boyfriend is really open, like why we feel like, honestly, he's like, just some honest feedback. We feel like there's been inattention. We feel like you're looking at things for the first time when we come in, and Michelle feels like she's not being taken care of. He's like, this is my loved one, and I feel like they're not being taken care of. There's like a lack of attention. Like, I'm just a number. He got really defensive, and he started just being really defensive and with his language and blaming everything on me. Like, well, we started talking about your old protocol. That's what's taken up the conversation. We didn't get a chance to talk about what I wanted to talk about yet, which is like your test results and your this and that. And I tried to softly explain to Dr. like, what it means is that there's been times where like maybe I've had a test result in and I didn't know it was in, and no one calls me, I don't have a doctor to call me and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, and then let's talk about it at our appointment. Or a ball gets dropped on getting like a prescription in, or a test doesn't get ordered, or he doesn't say I should have a test. Like, I'm constantly thinking like, what do I need? What do I need to ask him? Or even like an after chemo protocol last time, like now he's all about, he's like, oh, we have to do this after chemo protocol. We have to keep you stable and this and that, and we'll do the XYZ. And he didn't do that last time. And that's what I needed. I needed him to do that. And he starts citing all these case studies why, and people like why his therapy and treatment is more effective than the other doctor's therapy and treatment. So I am really confused right now. I am honestly really confused. I told him the other doctor mentioned concerns about heart damage on the epirubicin. He said, oh no, you haven't had I've had patients with who've had way more epirubicin than you have, and they're fine. I'm like, okay, well, this doctor said, like, how much epirubicin have you had? And I'm assuming he knows it's a low dose because he knows the other doctor. I said, well, I've had 18. And he said he has a patient who's had 12 low dose and already has noticeable heart damage. Even if it won't like really show up or affect her maybe for like 5 to 10 years, it's still there and it's irreversible for the most part. So, and he's not worried about the epirubicin. He thinks that I kind of made a mistake, but what we're gonna do is he's put in an order for an MRI. So we're gonna do a chest MRI. We're gonna see if the first 2 treatments
There's a speed trap ahead.
Worked. So we're going to see if it shrunk at all, because he said he couldn't really feel the one right here anymore. So, and then we're going to do, I need water. We need to do 6 of my maximum recording. That was coffee. Actually, it's kind of cold and good. Okay, so we're going to do 6 of this new Taxol protocol, and then we're going to do another CT of the chest to see if it's working. Oh, I said his name. Lips, am I allowed to? Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Why not? Why can't you?
I think I really respect what he's done. I know he's done great things over the years. He wrote a great book, and he's very compassionate. A lot of people have great things to say about him. I feel like with me, it's been a disconnect, and I don't feel his care and compassion. And when I talk to other patients, they feel the same thing. They feel like he's looking at things for the first time. He's overwhelmed. We pointed out, we said, we think you need help, you're overworked. Maybe that wasn't our place. Maybe it wasn't, but somebody needed to say it.
Like we're taking a car in to get a checkup.
That's what he said. He said, we're not taking our car into the mechanic.
This is like you're reading it for the very first time. This needs attention to detail in someone's life. And it feels like we're explaining it to you every single time we come in, catching you up.
Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they step in. One time when I cried on the phone because something oh, that's the one I wanted to mention. The chemo. When you were mentioning what happened recently, was nothing near as big as when I needed to start chemo again, and he said he put it in for the approval, and then 3 weeks went by, I didn't hear from anybody. When I called to find out, they said, oh, it wasn't put in for approval, and that was chemo. That was a big deal. That's one I really wish that I
But
remembered
that's one
at the
of
time.
like 5.
That's one of 10, probably.
Maybe 10.
The nurses are amazing. Let me tell you this. I love my nurses. I love them. They're so great. They're attentive. They're caring.
That's what they have
real,
going for them. They have that, but they're all overworked. All of them are overworked.
They are overworked. It took 7.5 hours today to get 3 chemos. And I know we had to start slow, but there was definitely the lag time, and the nurses worked hard. Not on the nurses at all, just the system. And it was really busy today. I think Mondays are really busy. I'm grateful.
Michelle is a nice one. I'm the one that just
I had to put my hand on this knee.
Well, it's just BS, man. Like,
I really appreciate him, because sometimes it's not easy for me to speak up for myself. Were you proud of me though? The few things that I said though.
It was. You were calm about it, and I feel like I was calm, although I was getting a little angry. But I was gonna keep my cool.
Your face was dead, hardcore serious.
It was.
Oh yeah.
I wanted him to see.
He had the sigh.
I wanted him to see how, if he's not going to hear it, someone's got to stand up, and he needs to know, and maybe he's not hearing that.
And he didn't like it, and he didn't like it at all. He couldn't handle it. He didn't. What would have been nice if he would have been like, okay, guys, I know this maximum. Just to say, I'm sorry you feel this way, and I know like there's a lot going on, and I know maybe it seems like I'm not prepared. Just let you know, like even if in the moment I'm reading something for the first time, I am reading it before. Maybe I do sometimes forget because I have a lot of patience, and then afterwards I'm looking at it and I'm making sure that what I say and everything I have on file about your protocol is spot on. Like if that was really happening, I feel like he should say that. And he should say, I appreciate your feedback. I want to let you know you are cared for. You are important. You're not just a number. And I just want you to get better. So it was uncomfortable, but it needed to happen. And I probably won't see him again. I'm not sure, because I'll go next week and then I'll be switching. When he was done, he just walked out.
Yeah, he did.
At the end, he just was like, okay.
I wasn't trying to start trouble.
And he just walked right out. He didn't say, hey, take care, Michelle. All the best. Thank you guys. Nothing. He never says that anyway. I don't know. Now I'm really conflicted. I don't know if this is the right regimen for me. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know. But I'm just going to keep rolling with it and have faith in the universe that it's going to take me down the right path. And in the end result is I'm in remission forever. So there you go.
Whatever turn.
I learned a lot about icing, and I'm going to totally change what I did today. I'm going to do a totally different video on that, but those little gel things don't work very well at all. I'm going to have to do like something with real ice. So maybe I'll use like the mittens and the foot things with like a good quality baggie with real ice in it with it, not the gels, because they just cool off way too fast and then they get warm. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go get my hands on ice. It's been too long and I can feel them tingling. So I'm going to do that right now. I can feel them tingling right now. So yeah, they're tingling. Oh, they're hot and tingling. Because my last one I get is the F5FU push, and it's a hot one. You have to swirl the ice and stuff. So I'm gonna get my hands on ice.
You have so much energy right now.
I do. Oh, steroids. I'm hopped up on steroids.
You've talked for
blah 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 blah.
But I mean, I can tell you're like really energized and focused. But
yeah.
At the same time, kind of ADD and all over the place, but still really energized.
ADD?
No, not ADD. I mean, you just want to get a lot.
Very
not
focused.
ADD. You're very
I'm just trying to roll through all of it because I know it's going to be long, so I know I want to just get it out fast. So
ADD was the wrong word. You're just getting it all out off your chest.
Fast forward. All right. Peace out. Bald hair. Bald hair. Hello, lovelies. I forgot to document yesterday after my appointment how I felt the rest of the evening after my very first paxitaxol carboplatin 5FU cocktail, and I am excited that so far it's way better than the epirubicin cytoxan 5FU cocktail, and I'm not sure if it's because I didn't have the vitamin C with it, which can kind of make me feel a little bit weird, or if it's just going to be an easier chemo regimen, or because I had 2 weeks off. I'm not sure. But even with my very first one of the epirubicin cytoxan F5FU 4 weeks ago, and I hadn't had chemo since last November, it was really rough. So I felt great yesterday. Like I was nauseous and stuff at the cancer center because I was anticipating what it felt like, and all the memories of feeling sick just rushed back in. But once everything started going and was done, I was okay, and I was pretty good all evening. I didn't have the metallic taste in my mouth like I get, and it didn't really happen until later this afternoon, where I started getting that chemo taste in my mouth, and I still feel pretty good. Like usually the second day I start to feel like a little bit like I'm kind of like running on the steroids still, and it kind of keeps me going, and I felt pretty like jacked up on steroids, and very just like motivated, capable, get stuff done. I feel like I can communicate more effectively and clearly, and all that jazz. And then usually by the end of the day 2 today, it starts to kick in, and then tomorrow is usually pretty rough. But because I don't feel that bad right now, and I even had a taste for wine. I had a little bit of wine tonight, and I did fast all day. I didn't really have an appetite, and I wanted to just fast, and as long as I could. I woke up feeling a bit discouraged about my conversation with my oncologist, and him mentioning stage 4, and thinking about the mutations that my cancer has like made copies of itself, and woke up just kind of feeling like I had to, I don't know, I just wasn't motivated to eat or put anything in my body that cancer could like feed off of. So I didn't eat until 8 o'clock tonight, which is kind of setting me up to eat really late and go to bed with food, and that's probably not good either. But yeah, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be as bad. If it's anything, I mean, if it stays like this, then I think I might be able to handle it. But I do know that the carboplatin builds up in your body, and that you're most likely to have a reaction like a few treatments in, and it might get worse. So I don't know what to expect. I'm not gonna get too excited too soon, but so far so good. So time for bed, and we'll see how I do tomorrow. Hey lovelies, thank you all so much for the love today. Hi puppy. I'm a bit sick now from chemo this week. Hi puppy. Oh puppy. Oh, he's kissing my lips. You never kiss my lips. He's been worried about me, and he never snuggles. I'm okay, I'll be better. Just need one more day. So thanks for brightening it and sharing all your love, and and hopefully some laughs here. So bye. I love you, Charlie. Love that kid. I'm gonna beat this for them.